The Prepared Man. It is a quiet afternoon in a suburb somewhere in America. A man pulls into a parking lot. He gets out of his car. He walks into a hardware store. He buys rope, plastic sheeting, zip ties. He pays in cash. He does not make conversation. He leaves. No one remembers him. This happens in dozens of towns, over many years, and no one notices. This is the story of Israel Keyes, a man who planned his crimes years in advance, a man who traveled thousands of miles to kill strangers, a man who left almost no evidence, a man who was careful, methodical, invisible, until he made one mistake. Israel Keyes was born in 1978 in Utah. He grew up in a strict religious household. His family moved frequently. Washington, Maine. They lived off the grid for years. No electricity, no running water. Israel was homeschooled. He had little contact with the outside world. As a teenager, he left home. He joined the army. He served for 3 years. He was discharged honorably. He moved to Alaska. He worked as a construction contractor. He had a girlfriend, a daughter. He seemed normal, quiet, reliable. But Israel Keyes had been thinking about murder since he was a teenager. Not impulsively, not out of rage. He thought about it the way someone might think about a project. He planned. He researched. He prepared. He did not want to get caught, so he built a system. He traveled frequently for work. He drove long distances across the country, thousands of miles. He used these trips to prepare. He would stop in remote areas, places far from where he lived, places he had no connection to. He would bury supplies. He called them kill kits. They contained weapons, cash, tools. He buried them near lakes, in forests, in places no one would look. He marked the locations. He remembered them. Years later, he would return. He did not choose victims in advance. He did not stalk anyone. He did not have a type. He chose randomly. He would arrive in a town he had never been to. He would drive around at night. He would look for someone alone, someone vulnerable, someone whose routine he could observe. Then he would wait, and when the moment came, he would act. Between 2001 and 2012, Israel Keyes killed at least 3 people, possibly more. He claimed the number was higher, 11, maybe more. But only 3 have been confirmed. The others remain unproven. He refused to provide details unless investigators met his demands. He wanted control, even in custody. So much of what he said remains uncertain. What is known is this. He killed a couple in Vermont in 2011, Bill and Lorraine Currier. He broke into their home at night. He bound them. He transported them. He killed them separately. Their bodies were never found. He admitted to this crime while in custody. Before that, investigators had no suspect, no motive, no clear evidence. The case was unsolved for months. He traveled constantly. He flew to Chicago, to Texas, to the East Coast. He rented cars under fake names. He paid cash when he could. He avoided cameras. He stayed in cheap motels. He did not use his phone in certain areas. He was deliberate. Every action had a reason. Every choice reduced risk. He did not drink before a crime. He did not take souvenirs. He did not revisit crime scenes. He followed his own rules. In February 2012, Israel Keyes abducted an 18-year-old woman from a coffee stand in Anchorage, Alaska. Her name was Samantha Koenig. She was working alone. It was late. He used a weapon to force her into his truck. He took her to a shed he had access to. he kept her there. Hours later, he killed her. He left Alaska the next day. He flew to Texas, to Arizona. He continued his normal life. He visited his girlfriend, his daughter. He went to work. No one suspected anything. 2 weeks after Samantha disappeared, Israel returned to Alaska. He retrieved her body from the shed. He took a photograph. He sent a ransom note to her family. He made it look like she was still alive. He demanded money. He used her debit card. This was his mistake. Police traced the debit card transactions. They tracked the withdrawals across multiple states. They identified the vehicle, a white truck. They found it in a Texas hotel parking lot. Israel Keyes was inside. He was arrested without incident. It was March 2012.
During interrogation, Israel Keyes was calm. He was cooperative to a point. He admitted to killing Samantha Koenig. He admitted to the Vermont murders. He hinted at others. He said he had been killing for more than a decade. He said he had victims in multiple states. But he would not provide names. He would not provide locations. He wanted things in return. He wanted his daughter protected from media attention. He wanted a quick execution. He wanted control over what information was released. Investigators tried to map his travels. They pulled flight records, hotel receipts, rental car agreements. They found he had been to dozens of states. He had flown to locations far from Alaska. He had driven rental cars across the country. He had stayed in cheap motels and campgrounds. But matching his travel to unsolved cases was difficult. He did not leave evidence. He did not choose victims he knew. The randomness made connections nearly impossible. Keyes described his methods. He said he never killed near home. He never killed anyone he had a connection to. He traveled far. He buried supplies in advance, sometimes years in advance. He said he would fly to one city, rent a car, drive to another state, commit a crime, then return the car and fly home. He said he turned his phone off during certain periods. He paid cash when possible. He avoided toll roads with cameras. He wore gloves. He cleaned crime scenes. He was careful. He spoke about it matter-of-factly. He did not express remorse. He did not try to justify his actions. He did not blame anyone. He simply explained, as if describing a process, as if it was something technical. He talked about planning, about patience, about discipline. He seemed proud of how long he had avoided detection. In December 2012, while awaiting trial, Israel Keyes was found dead in his cell. He had used a razor and a bedsheet. He left a suicide note. It was long. It contained drawings, symbols, phrases. It did not contain confessions. It did not name victims. It did not provide closure. He chose to take his secrets with him. The investigation continued after his death. Authorities tried to identify other victims. They cross-referenced his travel with unsolved cases. They found possible connections, missing persons, unexplained murders. But without his testimony, nothing could be confirmed. The cases remain open. The families remain without answers. Israel Keyes is believed to have killed at least 3 people. He claimed 11. Some investigators believe the number could be higher, but the exact total will never be known. He controlled the information, and when he died, the information died with him. There is something unsettling about the randomness. Most serial killers have patterns. They choose victims based on appearance, location, routine. But Keyes chose no one in particular. He simply chose opportunity. He traveled to places he had no reason to be.
He killed people he had no connection to. He left almost nothing behind. And because of that, he was invisible for more than a decade. He lived a double life. He was a father, a boyfriend, a contractor. He attended his daughter's school events. He worked on job sites. He went camping with his family. And between these moments, he flew across the country to kill strangers. The two lives existed side by side, separate, unconnected in the eyes of everyone who knew him. His arrest came from a single mistake, using a victim's debit card. One deviation from his rules, one act that created a traceable pattern. Without that, he might never have been caught. He might have continued for years, until he chose to stop, or until he made another mistake. Israel Keyes is gone, but his victims remain unidentified. Families across the country wait, hoping for answers, hoping their missing daughter, son, sister, brother might be explained. But the answers are buried in unmarked places, in forests and lakes Keyes visited and never named. The map of his crimes is incomplete. It will always be incomplete. The story ends here. Not with resolution, not with justice for all, just with the knowledge that a man traveled across America for years, prepared in advance, killed at random, and disappeared into normal life. Until he did not. The bodies are still missing. The secrets are still buried. And the quiet man from Alaska, who seemed so ordinary, remains one of the most organized killers in modern American history. The silence he left behind is vast, and it does not end.